A bombshell revelation is rocking Silicon Valley as Mark Zuckerberg's cozy relationship with the Chinese Communist Party comes to light. The evidence is damning. Meta built censorship tools for Beijing, offered your personal data to communist tyrants, and deleted accounts of Chinese dissidents on American soil at the CCP's request. This is not just business, it's betrayal at the highest level. When questioned about their Chinese footprint, Zuckerberg claimed, "We don't do business in China." Well, that's pure fiction. The truth? $18.3 billion in Chinese revenue. Meta executives caught comparing their tactics to big tobacco, knowingly pursuing addiction, manipulation, and control for profit. And we've got all the receipts in this special report. And just as Zuckerberg's surveillance machine is tracking everything you do online, another surveillance is happening in your home by your power company. While Meta secretly collected $18.3 billion from China, Americans are expected to spend over $941 on home heating. That's right, they're going to spend more than they did over the holiday. Like Zuckerberg's secret dealings with the CCP, the energy companies don't want you to know there's a simple solution to break free from their control. It's a compact, powerful mini heater that warms any room instantly without expensive central heating costs. While Facebook monitors your data without permission, this device gives you full control over your comfort with adjustable heat levels, built-in safety features, and energy-efficient operation. Fight back against surveillance capitalism and energy price gouging with this portable little heating solution. Visit staywarmnow.com for up to 60% off and free expedited shipping. Let's jump into the story here. That's right, the Facebook bombshell they tried to bury. Zuckerberg, China, censorship, whistleblowers, treason. It's not about data, it's about betrayal at the highest level. This is a thread that you need to see. Facebook tried to destroy this whistleblower. $50,000 fines for speaking the truth, gag orders, book bans, total financial ruin. Why? Because she worked with Zuck and knows where the bodies are buried. Here's Josh Hawley at the hearing.
And they have stopped. Let me just say as we begin, this is a hearing that Facebook has tried desperately to prevent. Facebook is one of the most powerful companies in the world. It is one of the most powerful companies in the history of the world. And they have stopped at absolutely nothing to prevent today's testimony. They've absolutely gone to war to try to prevent it. Our witness today is a whistleblower, and not just a whistleblower, but a longtime executive at Facebook. She worked directly with Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sanders and the Facebook brass. She was a part of the Facebook brass, and they have gone scorched earth to prevent her from telling what she knows. They've sued her. They have sought a gag order against her. They have begged courts to take her book off of the shelves. They tried to get it stopped from being printed in the first place. They have threatened her, get this, with $50,000 in punitive damages every time she mentions Facebook in public. $50,000 every time she mentions Facebook in public, even if the statements that she is making are true. And even as we sit here today, Facebook is attempting her total and complete financial ruin. Let me just say as we begin.
Wow, Facebook doesn't want this. Here's more from Josh Hawley. Zuckerberg sold us out to the CCP, building censorship tools for Beijing, offering your data to communist tyrants while waving the American flag. He was bowing to China behind the scenes. This is called traitor tech.
Hand in glove. Sarah Wynne Williams knows the truth about Facebook. That's what they fear. She knows that while Mark Zuckerberg now claims to be a champion of the United States and claims to be a free speech warrior, he in fact worked hand in glove with the Chinese Communist Party for years. He in fact made censorship his business model. He in fact developed censorship tools for the Chinese Communist Party to use against its own people. He in fact made Americans' own user data available, was willing to make it available to Beijing. The truth is, Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg have lied to the American people repeatedly. Sarah Wynne Williams knows the truth about Facebook. That's what they fear. She knows that while Mark Zuckerberg...
Let's keep going. Meta ignored human rights, targeted teens, lied to Congress, fed the CCP everything it wanted. It's big tech's biggest lie, pretending to stand for freedom while cashing Chinese checks. They put profits over your kids.
I'm delighted to have with me the ranking member, both for the subcommittee and for the full Judiciary Committee, Senator Durbin, and I'll turn it over to him.
Thanks, Chairman Hawley, for holding this hearing. Thank you, Ms. Wynne-Williams, for agreeing to testify, particularly under these circumstances. You join other whistleblowers, including Francis Haugen and Arturo Bejar, who have bravely come before Congress to detail how Meta, aka Facebook, one of the biggest companies in the world, consistently chooses profits and growth over people and safety. Meta chooses to target vulnerable teenagers to drive engagement and increase ad spending, knowing the risk it poses to teen mental health. Meta chooses to feed its users inflammatory content to drive engagement and increase ad spending, knowing the harm it can cause. Meta chooses to put human rights concerns aside if it means access to more users, more growth, more dollars. During the time frame that Ms. Wynne-Williams documents in her book, I was pressing Facebook on its potential cooperation with the Chinese government. I was chair in this room of the Human Rights and Law Subcommittee, working with a staunch Republican conservative, the late Tom Coburn. We held hearings on the human rights implications of big tech operating in countries with repressive governments and sent interrogatories to Facebook on the issue. The company flatly declined to appear, claiming they had nothing to say on the issue. Here's what I said in the hearing room at the time, quote, "We asked Facebook to testify and they said, we have no business operations in China and for that matter in most of the countries of the world," end quote. In retrospect, these comments from Facebook were disingenuous at best.
Yeah, of course they were. Caught red-handed, the Facebook board compared themselves to Big Tobacco because they knew their platform was harmful but pushed it anyway.
In one chapter, Ms. Wynne-Williams describes a board meeting where the company discussed ways to head off regulation and change the narrative surrounding Facebook. She writes that the board, quote, gets into conversation about what other companies or industries have navigated with similar challenges, where they have to change a narrative that says they're a danger to society, extracting large profits, pushing all the negative externalities onto society and not giving back. Guess what model they chose? Big Tobacco. That analogy is apt. Like Big Tobacco decades ago, Big Tech tells us their products do no harm. Like Big Tobacco, Big Tech tells us they can be trusted. And like Big Tobacco, they fight to prevent any regulation that might make them pay for the cost that their products impose on society. We have seen it time and time again in Congress. Any effort to regulate big tech is met with millions of dollars in ad campaigns, lobbying, and other opposition. But Congress has fought this battle before, and we have won. Almost 40 years ago, I was a member of the House of Representatives. I introduced legislation to ban smoking on airplanes. The tobacco industry fought it tooth and nail. Once that smoking ban went into effect, it wasn't long before smoking was banned in restaurants and public places. That one little law finally turned the tide against smoking in America, and it ultimately saved millions of lives. Thanks to people like Ms. Wynne-Williams, I believe we're at a similar tipping point with big tech. The word is out. The shine is off. We can all see the harm big tech has caused, from enabling the spread of CSAM and harming teen mental health to facilitating repression in places like China and Myanmar.
Meta deleted accounts of dissidents on U.S. soil at China's request, and they lied to Congress. The same company that claims to protect democracy is aiding communists in hunting critics. Here is the whistleblower herself in her own words.
About what they were doing. We are engaged in a high-stakes AI arms race against China. And during my time at Meta, company executives lied about what they were doing with the Chinese Communist Party to employees, shareholders, Congress, and the American public. I sit before this committee today to set the record straight about these illegal and dangerous activities. Meta's dishonesty started with the betrayal of core American values. Mark Zuckerberg pledged himself a free speech champion. Yet I witnessed Meta work hand in glove with the Chinese Communist Party to construct and test custom-built censorship tools that silenced and censored their critics. When Beijing demanded that Facebook delete the account of a prominent Chinese dissident living on American soil, they did it. And then lied to Congress when asked about the incident in a Senate hearing.
Wow. They said, we don't do business in China. It's a lie. 18.3 billion in Chinese revenue.
Meta is not doing. Facebook Meta issued a statement again last night saying that they don't do business in China. Now, is that true? Facebook Meta is not doing business in China? Is that accurate?
That is not accurate, Chairman Hawley. Facebook has a $18.3 billion business in China. And to give just one example, in 2014, it launched Oculus in China with a strategy of playing dumb. And Oculus has continued to grow as a significant part of their business.
In fact, they have, since 2014, 2015, they have launched multiple apps in China, often without, well, always without seeking authorization from this government, not informing their shareholders, not informing Congress, not informing the public. And now they have employees in China. Is that accurate? They have a partnership with Tencent in China. Is that accurate? Their Oculus VR business is in China. Is that accurate? So tell me this, Facebook Meta issued a statement.
Wow. Facebook drafted plans to hand over Hong Kong and Chinese user data to Beijing. Internal documents confirmed it.
Yes, sir.
Was Facebook ever willing to share user data with the Chinese Communist Party?
Yes, Senator.
In fact, they had a plan for that, didn't they? Here's some more documents, internal documents. Update, I spoke with the China team yesterday. They flagged a potential complication arising from our negotiations with the Chinese government. I emphasize this is a Facebook document now. These are Facebook executives. In exchange for the ability to do operations in China, Facebook will agree to grant the Chinese government access to Chinese user data. There it is in black and white. Facebook will agree to grant the Chinese government access to Chinese user data, including Hong Kongese user data. And then they talk about they're going to have to get their Hong Kong citizens to re-agree to terms of service so they can slide this right by them. Was Facebook ever...
Yeah, be careful when you sign that little box for the terms of service. Meta plans to dominate AI. With DeepSeek rising in China, Facebook positions itself as America's only other major player, and they'll do anything to win, even if it means dealing with dictators.
Competitor to... And so just playing this out, if China's DeepSeek model, another open source model, I think, right, becomes the chief competitor to these other models in the United States, what you're saying is that it stands to reason, and this is something for us to look into certainly, but it stands to reason that in a way Facebook would benefit from that because you've got this threat in DeepSeek. Facebook is the only other really major American open source model out there. The others aren't built on that platform. So, you know, Facebook's, their profile is raised, the significance of their model is raised, and maybe they become more important than ever. I mean, does that stand to reason?
I think it's a winner-takes-all situation, and I think that would set up Meta in a very strong position.
And as usual with Mark Zuckerberg and Meta, they intend to win and take all. Senator Blumenthal, if you're ready, I'll turn it over to you.
Thanks very much, Mr. Chairman.
Let's keep going. They've built a virtual you. Did you know that? Tracking your messages, location, purchases, even app use outside their platforms, all centralized, and Zuckerberg vetoed safety measures that could have protected your kids.
It is unfathomable. It's very, very hard to wrap your mind around the amount of data that this company has on each person who logs on to its service. It's of, private messages, but so much data, and all of that we channel through a POP server.
So then it is not just limited. The data Facebook holds or Meta holds is not just limited to the Meta applications.
Not at all, Senator.
So basically Meta has the ability to build what I call a virtual you of an individual, where they go, the transactions they have, the different apps that they rotate from one to another. Is that accurate?
Absolutely, Senator.
Okay, thank you. I've got one other question I want to come to you on, and we have heard not only from you, but from others, that Mark Zuckerberg would veto recommendations from his team when it came to improving practices that would protect children or would protect data.
Yeah. The senators are done. They're demanding Zuckerberg testify under oath, but he's hiding behind lawyers.
Come to this committee. So I have a message to Mark Zuckerberg as well, which is that it's time for you to tell the truth. You should come to this committee and take an oath and sit where Ms. Wynne Williams is sitting now and answer this evidence. Stop trying to silence her. Stop trying to gag her. Stop trying to hide behind your lawyers and millions of dollars in legal fees you're trying to impose on her. Stop threatening other whistleblowers. Come to this committee, take the oath, sit there, let us question you, and give the American people the truth. We will be waiting for you. Senator, anything further?
Well said, Mr. Chairman.
Yep. He needs to come and testify. Zuckerberg betrayed our freedoms. Meta is not a tech company. It's a global surveillance tool working with tyrants. The truth is leaking, and they can't stop it. So it's not just a tech story. It's the surveillance state in real time. Meta has built a virtual you, tracking your messages, location purchases, and app usage outside their platform. Meanwhile, they've collaborated with foreign adversaries that use those same surveillance tactics to oppress their own citizens. When Meta whistleblowers tried to expose the truth, the company crushed them with legal gag orders, $50,000 fines, and book bans. Now, senators are demanding Zuckerberg testify under oath, but he's hiding behind his lawyers. The question every American should be asking: if Zuckerberg willingly handed over Hong Kong user data to Beijing and silenced political dissidents on U.S. soil, what else is he hiding about Meta's relationship with authoritarian regimes? And more importantly, how can we trust any platform that prioritizes foreign profits over American privacy and freedom? Support independent media by going to the Next News merch shop, grab a hat or a shirt, and show the world that you stand with the real news.